Thank you for staying with us. Municipalities across the country are hobbled by service delivery and governance challenges. These take a toll on residents as some have to go without electricity, water, or other basic services. To discuss any recourse that residents and businesses have against dysfunctional municipalities, I am joined now by governance expert, Professor Daniel Meyer. Prof, good to have you on the program this evening. Firstly, give us your initial insights into these stats that we are seeing when it comes to dysfunctional and bankrupt municipalities. What has been noted here?
Yes, thank you and good evening. The problem in South Africa is the lowest level of governance in its municipal level. And I think we know that around about 70% of all municipalities are either bankrupt or on their way to bankruptcy. If you look at the Auditor General's report, you will find all of these stats. We've got about, I would say, about $1 billion of backlogs of infrastructure development that's needed in South Africa. But the biggest problem is our level of governance, also the level of corruption, the level of accountability at local government level, the skills, the capacity levels, and then the last problem is our infrastructure backlogs and the maintenance of infrastructure. And the last thing is also the financial management at government, at local government. That's the biggest the four biggest problems currently in South Africa.
So in light of crises like the sewage issues in Mogale City, but also Eskom payment disputes, what legal or even administrative recourse do residents have, or even businesses? What recourse do they have when local governments fail to indeed provide essential services?
Yeah, it's the right of everybody to have good services provided by the municipality in your region. And I think that the first level is to engage with your municipality to see what is the issue, why they cannot provide the services. The second one, and it's a high-level intervention, is legal action. You can always visit the office of the public protector, or you can go to the courts, but it's very expensive and takes a very long time. I think it's best if we look at something like self-governance, self-help projects. There's many areas that the private sector comes in and assist with, for example, waste removal, fixing of sewer works, water works, fixing of potholes. So there's some level of self-governance that people can come into, and also then going off the grid. For example, if there's electricity issues in your region, possibly going off grid. So there's a few options that we have, but most of them is quite expensive. And the last option is the political side of it, political change. If you feel that your municipality is not providing in your good services for your region, then maybe in the next election, I think it's 2026, the next local government election, there's an opportunity to change the level of the government.
Yeah, but how much of the crisis in municipalities, for instance, like Mfuleni, it can be blamed on financial mismanagement? And can these municipalities recover from this situation?
Yeah, as I said in the beginning, about 70% of municipalities are currently bankrupt or on their way to bankruptcy. Even the metros and Mfuleni here in the south of Gauteng province is a very poor performing municipality. And I would say that the biggest issue with the financial management is that municipalities cannot collect enough income. Most municipalities collect less than 50% of their revenue. Their processes, how to collect, how to cut off consumers if they don't pay, they don't do it. These good performing municipalities like Midvaal, which is next to Mfuleni, if you don't pay the same day that you have to pay your account, they cut you off for 24 hours, you're off. So they've got like a 99% collection rate. And it's very good financial management. So most of the municipalities has got this debt crisis. They don't get their revenue. They have got corruption where they don't spend the money on the right stuff like maintenance of infrastructure. And the consequences of financial mismanagement is service delivery failures, deteriorating infrastructure, loss of public trust. So people pay even less if you don't provide the service. and economic stagnation. So if you don't have good services like Mfuleni, the economy will suffer. So there's a lot of consequences for poor financial management.
Let's speak about Eskom. I mean, the utilities debt collection methods are adding pressure on municipalities as well. What role does Eskom indeed play in this dysfunction, and how can the relationship be improved?
Yeah, Eskom is owned huge amounts from municipal accounts. You've seen that City of Johannesburg, Tshwane, a lot of the metros are struggling to repay Eskom. We see that the debt of Eskom is growing every day. And although we don't have load shedding in the last 6 months or so, the debt of Eskom is rising, and it can have a significant impact on the economy. Like I think it's currently about 400 billion rand that is owned to Eskom, and it's mostly through municipalities. There is talks that most of the municipalities and Eskom will provide the service directly to the clients through many of the municipalities. That is an option, but we cannot allow Eskom to fail, and we need municipalities to pay their accounts. Mfuleni is a good example where they cannot pay Eskom. There's been many court cases that is forcing Mfuleni to pay, but they don't have the funding to pay. And there is a decision, I think, by the court that Eskom will provide directly for the large consumers in Mfuleni, for example, Metal Steel and other big companies. You cannot let the residents of a municipality suffer because of the lack of financial management by municipalities. So that is a huge problem. But there is an issue with financial management at municipalities. We know that. And for example, in Poland, municipalities receive about 40% of all taxes in their region, which makes them more sustainable. Individual taxes, business taxes comes directly to municipalities. And in Poland, the municipalities are very successful. So I think the whole financial model for local municipalities in South Africa need to change. We see that, as I said, 70% of municipalities are not financially sustainable. We cannot continue like that. The ship have to be turned in a different direction. Yeah. And if the municipalities will fail, the economy will fail, and we cannot allow that.
But given the dysfunction in municipalities, is it time to indeed consider alternative governance models? And what reforms would you suggest to improve local government effectiveness here?
I think we've reached the point that we need to change the model, the financial model for municipalities. They cannot survive in this current situation. You can always also look at the recent decisions or the process where Eskom will increase their tariffs by 43%. Most consumers will not be able to pay that. So as I said, the equitable share that comes from national government to local government will have to be increased, but we know national government is under pressure to provide funding for even provincial government. So if you look at the ratio between provincial government and local government equitable share, the provincial government has got much higher ratio that they receive. But I think the functions that needs to be provided are mostly on a local government level. So we'll have to change the level of support to local government and to improve the financial skills at local government, the capacity at local government. We need to appoint the best of the best at local government. It's very difficult environment to be successful. There's a political environment at local government that's very difficult to survive. So there's a whole new structural change needed at local government as soon as possible.
Yeah. But how can businesses protect themselves, if you will, from the fallout of municipal failures like the sewage crisis in Mogale City, for instance? Should businesses be more involved in local governance as well?
They will have to be more involved in local government. We've seen many examples of this across the country. Supporting municipalities, it is not fair to expect a business person to fix the potholes, to fix the sewer works, to fix the water situation, and still pay 100% of taxes. So there will have to be a different way to look at this. But we'll have to see a different way that municipalities are run. We know that we haven't got the best of skills at the municipalities. Most municipalities don't have engineering skills left. All of those engineers have left the local government because of the difficult environment that they used to work in. We'll have to bring back people that's got the skills, and we need to have the private sector to support with some reduction in their taxes that they have to pay. But I think there's a huge need to reset the whole municipal system as we've got it at the moment. It is not sustainable on the short run, and we need to make a lot of changes. And there is solutions for this, but we'll have to all work together and support local government. I think there's a lot of funding that is wasted also, corruption. The tender processes are very restrictive at local government level. The MFMA has got many regulations, and on a daily basis, those are transgressed. The Auditor General has found that also. So we need to simplify the process. We need to have support for local government. I know that the more and more there's solar systems installed in areas, the less the income is for local government. So they've got this decreasing income, but increasing need for services that needs to be provided. And national government will have to come to this party and see how they can support local government by providing more skilled workers. So there's a whole reset needed for local government. We cannot continue like it's at the moment.
Yeah, but the national government oversees municipalities, for instance, but the management still seems very poor. How can the government improve accountability, especially the coordination within municipalities?
There's been many initiatives by national government. They've all had some successes, but mostly failed over the last 20 to 25 years. There's a report by the World Economic Forum in 2013 which talked about the future of government. And what it's all about is appoint the best of the best in government. Also to streamline decision-making processes is like fast government. More agile government, more flat government. There's less levels of decision-making, quicker decisions by the best people. So be agile, that you can have the best people there. We know that there's a lot of, let's call it cadre deployment at local municipalities. There's huge numbers of workers, but the output by the workers is not the best. So we need to have the best people at government because it's such a complicated environment to work in. And it's also a very politicized environment where politicians prescribe officials what they should do. And sometimes those politicians are just caring about their region or what's happening to their area. And it's not always objective decision making. So we need to have this more professionalization of local government on government level. So there's a lot of things that needs to be changed. Government has tried many things, but I think our new government, which has been established, we're all looking forward to the positive impacts of it, and we've seen some of the positive impacts. But now we need to refocus on local government because that's where service delivery happens and the people, it's closest to the people. So that is very, very important in terms of the three spheres of government that municipal management needs to improve substantially and very urgently.
Yeah. But in struggling municipalities, again, going back to Emfuleni, is there hope for recovery, Prof? And what steps must be taken to indeed rebuild trust with residents and businesses as well?
Yes, I'm living in the south of Gauteng in the Midwell municipal area. I know a lot of people in Emfuleni. I am working with Sedibeng district municipality, which consists of Midwell, Emfuleni, and the Sedi. Emfuleni has been taken over in the past by administrators. There's a lot of political infighting there. It's quite a negative place for a business to be successful. We've done some studies on the enabling environment, the importance of a local government providing an enabling environment for business to be successful. At Mfuleni at the moment, we cannot say it's there. There's huge problems with the sewer works. There's pollution into the Vaal River. There's water issues. There's potholes. There's electricity problems. There's municipal account problems. So the municipality doesn't seem to be turning the ship around in terms of management. And I think there needs to be urgent intervention there for the whole of the south of Gauteng to be turned around. So it's a very huge negative perception at the moment that we need to have change in governance at Mfuleni as soon as possible.
Yeah. But looking ahead, Prof, do you think South Africa's municipalities can indeed resolve their current dysfunction, or are we heading towards a broader crisis in local governance?
Yeah, I'm always positive. There's a lot of municipalities that is, let's call it pockets of excellence. We can learn a lot from them. And it's mostly smaller municipalities where we have seen successes, except for possibly Cape Town metropolitan area where there's very good service delivery. We can learn from those pockets of excellence. We learn from each other. We need to work together like business people coming in and assisting municipalities. We need to bring back higher levels of skills. And I always say to students, you can have the best qualifications, you can have good experience, but if you haven't got commitment to your region and your municipal area, and you're working there as a servant of the communities, you will not have service delivery. So all of our municipal workers need to be committed to their areas, to go the extra mile, and we all need to work together to change this massive ship of local government around. There's a lot of training through LG, CETA, and SALGA that's happening. But I think it's a mindset that we need to know that local government is the foundation of even the economy, also for governance. And I think if we can work together and have the right people in management at all of the municipalities, the 257 of them, I'm 100% sure that we can turn this around.
Yeah.